Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon Origins. In this episode we're going to be looking at Dialga, Palkia and Giratina, the creation trio from the Sinnoh region. Starting with Dialga. Dialga or Dialga, finally a Japanese name I can pronounce, is the temporal Pokemon and is number 483 in the National Dex. It stands at 5.4 meters tall or 17 foot 9 inches and weighs 683 kilograms or 1,505.8 pounds. It is a Steel Dragon type and a member of the Creation Trio. Dialga is also the version mascot of Pokemon Diamond, appearing on the box art. Dialga is a sauropod-like Pokemon and seems to be based on a short-necked sauropod dinosaurs such as Camiosaurus or Brachychaculopan. Its steel typing is possibly due to the hardness of diamonds or the fact that most parts of a clock are made of metal, such as the gears. This would be fitting as it represents time. If you look at the right angle, the turquoise streaks along its body vaguely resemble clock hands. Its colour scheme mainly focuses on a dark blue with some grey metallic portions, such on its chest plate, which has a diamond in the centre. It also has turquoise stripes running down from the body from head to tail and down the legs. Dialga has, as well as on its chest, these metallic fin-like structures on its back, and a crest on its head which resembles a dinosaur. These shapes continue throughout the body in the form of two horns, two which look like fangs around its mouth, three spines on the back of its neck, and long claws on its legs. They look a lot like armour to me. The wing-like structure on its back can be used to focus the flow of time, as seen in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, Darkness and Sky. Dialga, along with Palkia, may be based on the Shinto legend of Izanami and Izanagi, who are said to have created one island with a spear, erected a pillar on it, and from there created the islands of Japan. Although Dialga is genderless in the main games, it is referred to as a male in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Darkness. Looking at his shiny form, the dark blue has now morphed into a much lighter blue that makes me think of the sea and seaweed for some reason. The original turquoise streaks are now a not very nice green colour, and the metal armour plates have gone from a sharp steel to a sort of, I don't want to say rusted steel, but more of a dull and weathered colour. Pokédex entries say this Pokemon completely controls the flow of time. It uses its power to travel at will through the past and future. Most of the entries say somewhere that when Dialga's heart beats, time flows, or something to that effect. Dialga, which is both the English and Japanese name, is derived from diamond. Ga may be a corruption of gon from dragon. It may also involve dia, which is Spanish for day, referring to a unit of time, dial, as in sundial, an instrument used to tell time using shadows on a clock face, or dia, which is Greek for through, as in to go through time. Also, according to Junichi Masuda's blog, the Spanish translation team suggests to change the name Dialga because of its similarity to the word alga, simply meaning seaweed. Now, Palkia. Palkia or Palkia is the special Pokemon and is number 484 in the National Dex. It stands at 4.2 meters tall or 13 feet 9 inches and weighs in at 336 kilograms or 740 pounds. It is a Water Dragon type and along with Dialga and Giratina is a member of the Creation Trio. Palkia is the version mascot of Pokemon Pearl, appearing on the box art. Appearance-wise, Palkia looks dinosaur-like, similar to Dialga, but is more likely based on a dragon combined with a purr. Its appearance may be specifically derived from the Plateosaurus or other bipedal dinosaurs such as Oviraptor or Gigantoraptor, due to its head crest and body form. The presence of fins on its back and the fish-like head and the pearls are possibly the reason for its water typing. Palkia's body is mainly a shade of light purple, although it has stripes and markings of a darker shade and a greyish coloured arm underside and waist. It has round purple stripe-like plates on its shoulder area, where two pink pearls lie encrusted with a grey rim encircling them, and fins in their back. Palkia's arms have somewhat gauntlet-like extended formations, and a purple band of coloration at the wrist. Palkia has a long neck, a pointed right crest on the top of its head that extends to its wings, two strong horn-like tusks on the side of its jaws, and a powerful tail. Palkia, as I mentioned before with Dialga, may be based on the Shinto legend of Izanami and Izanagi, who are said to have created the islands of Japan. Although Palkia is genderless in the main games, it is referred to as a male in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. Looking at shiny differences now, Palkia swaps as white and purple for a stunning light and dark pink look. The white sections change to a colour easily described as strawberry milkshake pink, and the purple turns into a darker pink bordering on a red. The Pokédex entries for Palkia state it has the ability to distort space, and that it is described as a deity in Sinnoh region mythology. It is also said that it lives in a gap in the spatial dimension parallel to ours. Palkia is derived from the Japanese spelling of pearl, which is paru. And finally onto Giratina. Giratina, or as you guessed it, Giratina, is the renegade Pokemon and is number 487 in the National Dex. As you may or may not know, Giratina has two forms, the second happening when you give an altered form Giratina a Grisius Orb to hold. The first form, or its altered form, stands at 4.5 meters tall or 14 foot 9 inches and weighs 750 kilograms or 1,653.5 pounds. The second form, known as the origin form, is 6.9 meters tall or 22 foot 8 inches and weighs 650 kilograms or 1,422 pounds. It is a ghost dragon type and along with Dialga and Palkia makes up the creation trio. In origin form, Giratina is the version mascot of Pokemon Platinum. Let's start with the altered form. In this form, Giratina has a large, grey centipede-like body with 6 short, thick legs. Its legs have gold claws and gold bands on them. It has a tail and a thick black stripe running vertically along the front of its body. There is a series of red horizontal stripes running across the large black one. 3 gold half rings circle the back half of Giratina's neck. At some points, the 3 of the stripes are on its front, resembling a rib cage. On its back are 2 large black wings that are decorated with red conical objects that could also be claws. The wings seem oddly out of place due to the fact that Giratina seems far too heavy to fly effectively. The wings also seem to be ghostly as they can change shape as if they were made of a liquid or gas. The second is the origin form. It uses this form when travelling through dimensions other than ours, such as the Distortion World, its home. This form is more serpentine than Giratina's altered form. The origin form of Giratina has 6 black ghostly streamers on its back that each have a bright red spike at the end. Its mouth is hidden by the head plates which swing open sideways in the mouth's opening, and Giratina's legs have been reduced to spike-like protrusions. There are 4 more golden spikes near the edge of the tail. The 3 gold half rings in this form can be used to grip objects. A fun fact here, in both forms Giratina's head and eyes resemble that of Dialga and Palkia, causing many to theorize that it was related to the two even before it was confirmed in Pokemon Platinum. Giratina is possibly based on a basilisk. In its altered form, Giratina's wings may be also based on a bat's, and its body has an insect-like 6-leg feature, but its posture is similar to a sauropod. In its origin form, it has a body similar to a serpent, while the 6 protrusions on its body may be based on a scorpion stinger. However, this form also shares traits with the Amphitheater, a European dragon-like creature with wings but no legs. Giratina is genderless and therefore there are no gender differences. Looking at the shiny sprites now, the 2 forms shiny sprites share mostly the same changes, so this section is applicable to both unless I specify something specific to one form. All traces of gold have now been replaced with a silvery grey, and the wings have become darker and the red parts have been replaced with a lovely shade of blue. The last change is to the body. It has gone from a grey colour to a sandy yellow. The only change really to note between the 2 forms is that the Origins form body is darker than the altered form. We can gather from the Platinum Pokédex entry that it was banished from our world for violence, and that now gazes upon us from the Distortion World. Giratina may be a combination of Girasol, a type of red opal, Girare, which is Italian for to wander around, or Guillotine, or Platinum. Now let's turn to the height comparison chart, or this episode the height comparison charts, as these are too big to get their own. So Dialga stands at just over 17 feet, which is more than 3 times as tall as me. I would definitely not like to meet him. Palkia is just over 13 feet, so it's less intimidating than Dialga, but would still be rather scary to meet. Giratina's altered form is 14 foot, so to put that into perspective to you, the world's tallest man was an American called Robert Wadlow, who died in 1940. Giratina's altered form is about 1 3/4 Robert Wadlow's in height. Giratina's origin form is 22 feet, which is huge. The average 2-story house is around 20 feet, so go and look at your own house, assuming it's a 2-story normal house, and that's roughly how big it is, adding on 2 foot. And finally the sprite comparison. Starting with Dialga, in Diamond, Pearl, Black and Black 2 and White 2, it seemed to be standing on all 4s, not doing a lot. But in Platinum, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it has a mean look on its face, like it's ready to do some roaring. Now Palkia. It seems that in Diamond and Pearl it's looking slightly up as it stands majestically on its hind legs, all like, yes, I am on the box cover. And from there on, the only change through each passing game is that its head seems to get lower and lower. It looks really ashamed of something, probably its shiny colour scheme. Finally, Giratina. The altered form doesn't really alter at all, and and stays fairly consistent. The only change I can see there is it angles itself a bit from Pratlin onwards. That must be its better side. And to be honest, the origin form doesn't really seem to change at all. So guys, that ends another episode of Pokemon Origins. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and a comment down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.